Tina and Clarissa had been best friends for over 15 years. They met in secondary school, where they were dubbed the twins because of how inseparable they were. They shared everything just like twins, especially Clarissa, who was always willing to share her snacks, accessories, and goodies with Tina, who always appreciated what she received. "Nothing will ever come between us," Clarissa often said, squeezing Tina's hand whenever life threw challenges their way. "Never," Tina would reply with a warm smile. Their friendship grew through university and their early adult lives, supporting each other through heartbreaks, job searches, and family troubles. When Tina met Simon at a tech conference, Clarissa was the first person she called. "I met someone today, Rissa. He's funny, smart, and, oh my goodness, I can't stop thinking about him." "Finally," Clarissa squealed. "I thought I'd have to start dragging you to church singles meetings." From the first date to the engagement, Clarissa was by Tina's side, thrilled for her best friend. At the wedding, she beamed with pride as she held Tina's train down the aisle. But deep inside, a tiny pan of envy flickered. She pushed it aside, reassuring herself, "My time will come." The first few months of Tina's marriage were blissful. Simon adored her, and their small apartment was filled with love and laughter. Clarissa often visited, sometimes bringing food or staying over for long chats. "Simon, you're lucky I trained this one for you," Clarissa joked during one visit. "If not for me, Tina wouldn't know how to cook egusi soup properly." Simon laughed. "Then I owe you a thank you gift, Clarissa. I'll add your name to our household budget." Tina giggled, happy to see her husband and best friend getting along so well. But over time, Clarissa's visits grew more frequent. She began to arrive unannounced, sometimes staying late into the evening. One day, Tina playfully said, "You've turned this place into your second home." Clarissa grinned. "Can you blame me? You and Simon are my favorite people. Where else would I go?" Tina laughed it off, but Simon looked uneasy. It started subtly. Clarissa began dressing more provocatively whenever she visited, tight skirts, low-cut blouses, and heavy makeup. She'd find excuses to sit close to Simon, brushing her hand against his arm or laughing a little too loudly at his jokes. Simon tried to maintain his distance without being rude, but Tina began noticing the tension. One evening, as they prepared for bed, she brought it up. "Simon, do you think Clarissa is acting a little strange lately?" He hesitated. "She's always been bubbly, hasn't she? But if something feels off, maybe you should talk to her." Tina nodded, but she couldn't shake the unease creeping into her heart. One afternoon, Tina came home early from work to find Clarissa and Simon talking in the living room. The air was thick with tension. "I'm just saying," Clarissa was saying, "you deserve more than being tied down to one person. You're a man, Simon. You should explore your options." "Clarissa, stop it," Simon snapped, standing abruptly. "What's going on here?" Tina demanded, her voice trembling. Clarissa turned to her, unfazed. "Tina, you should know the truth. I love Simon, and I think he deserves someone who can make him happier than you ever could." Tina stared at her, stunned. "You what?" Simon stepped in. "Tina, I promise you, I've never encouraged this. Clarissa has been making advances, but I've shut her down every time." "Rissa, how could you?" Tina whispered, tears filling her eyes. "You've always had everything, Tina," Clarissa said bitterly. "The good grades, the job, the perfect husband. Don't you think it's time to share? Just like I shared my goodies and stuff with you when we were children." Tina cut all contact with Clarissa after that day. But Clarissa wasn't ready to let go. She began spreading rumors about Tina, accusing her of being unfaithful and unworthy of Simon's love. One evening, as Tina and Simon sat on the couch, she received a call from a mutual friend. Tina, I just heard Clarissa telling people that Simon was planning to leave you. What's going on? Tina sighed, her heart heavy. It's a lie. She's trying to ruin my marriage. Thank you for informing me of this. Simon held her hand. We'll get through this together, Tina. I won't let her destroy what we've built. But Clarissa's obsession escalated. She showed up at Simon's office one day, claiming she was there for a work project. When Simon saw her, he firmly escorted her out, warning her never to contact him again. In a desperate attempt to win Simon over, Clarissa created a fake scandal, sending anonymous messages to Tina's workplace, accusing her of fraud. The accusations caused an uproar, and Tina was called in for questioning. Do you have any idea who could be behind this? Her manager asked. Tina knew immediately. I suspect someone, but I'll need proof. With Simon's support, Tina hired a private investigator who traced the anonymous messages back to Clarissa. When confronted with the evidence, Clarissa denied everything at first, but under pressure, she broke down. I just wanted to show Simon that she isn't perfect, she screamed, tears streaming down her face. Tina's anger boiled over. You've gone too far, Clarissa. You tried to ruin my career, my reputation, and my marriage. You need help. Simon, standing beside Tina, added firmly, and you need to face the consequences of your actions. Clarissa was arrested for defamation and harassment. At the police station, she wept uncontrollably, begging Tina and Simon not to press charges. I'm sorry, she said, her voice shaking. I didn't mean for it to go this far. The police insisted that Clarissa sign an undertaking, legally binding her to stay away from Tina and Simon. In the document, Clarissa admitted to her actions and pledged never to contact or approach them again. Isolated and humiliated, Clarissa left the city. Her once bright future was tarnished by her own jealousy and greed. Tina and Simon, though deeply hurt by the betrayal, worked to rebuild their marriage. They set boundaries and prioritized their relationship, ensuring no one would come between them again. One evening, as Tina reflected on the events, she whispered, I never thought it would come to this. She was like a sister to me. Simon wrapped his arms around her. Some people can't handle love the way we do, Tina. But what matters is that we came out stronger. Years later, Tina heard through mutual friends that Clarissa was struggling to rebuild her life. While she felt a twinge of pity, she chose to focus on the happiness and peace she and Simon had fought so hard to preserve. The thin line between love and betrayal had been crossed, but Tina had survived.